What's up, my friend? Welcome back to the next part in this 30-day challenge. So in the last video, we talked about outlining your course, which is again, super important. It's sort of like the skeleton, the very base of your program that you're putting together. Without an outline, you can start from random spots and it just gets overwhelming because you don't really have a step-by-step system that you're taking people through. So after you come up with your initial idea for the program, you know who your avatar is, what you're going to help them with, then you want to outline that system step by step so you know exactly what you're creating first, second, third, and you know exactly what journey they'll be taken on along the way, every single moment, right? So crucial. So now that let's say you are starting to build your materials, you can start to also consider, in terms of the formatting of this course, should I create sort of a mini course, something more self-contained and small, or should I go with a larger product? Maybe it's a flagship product, something that has, lots of hours of content, or it requires a lot of time to flesh out. And that's a totally valid question, which is why we're covering it in today's video. The way I like to think about it is actually super simple. So I tend to use mini courses for topics that don't necessarily require too much fleshing out in the first place. Like, let's say within your niche of, it's music making, it's composing music. I want to talk about maybe 5 tips or 5 secrets to creating killer mixes, right? If I know there are 5 specific things I want to share, then that's 5 individual lessons or 5 videos that I could be putting into that course, and that's all it needs to be. So those 5 videos could come out to 1 hour, for example, or 2 hours at the most. And then maybe you throw in one worksheet or something that just gives them more tangible value and you package it as such. On the other hand, if you have a full start to finish system, let's say you want to take someone through photography, you want to teach them the very basics of cameras all the way to shooting like a AAA budget quality film, naturally you're going to require a lot more hours, a lot more content to get through every single step of that process. So the actual scope of your program should determine the amount of content and the formatting of your actual program itself. So my actual first course that I ever put out was a flagship program. I think it's like around 40-50 hours of content. And I took people through my exact process for making music from start to finish. So coming up with the first ideas, producing it on the computer, understanding orchestration, understanding composing, understanding mixing, releasing it into the world. There's like 8-9 different modules, all with individual lessons that talk about that process step by step. So again, it comes down to the scope of the course. What transformation are you promising? If it's a very specific promise that people can get through very quickly, then a mini course should be totally fine. And if it's something more full-fledged that requires more time than a full online course, something larger would make a lot of sense there. Again, do keep in mind though that the amount of content is not what really matters. It's more about the transformation, as we've talked about, right? Again, always going back to the transformation. If it requires more time to get them that transformation, then a longer online course or more content would make sense, and vice versa. Another question might be, well, how about coaching programs, right? Like, what if I want to offer just live coaching instead of building an online course? And you can certainly do that as well. In fact, a lot of people start with online coaching because it's a really easy way to start your business. You can make money right away. It requires basically no upfront work on your end. And it's just a great idea to do some private coaching and get people results very quickly. But within the scope of this program, we're talking about an online course that can be built once and then sold in perpetuity without continued involvement on your part, which is basically the way passive income essentially works in our online business model. So hopefully that kind of makes sense. I would personally go with a full-fledged online course if you want to share your full method as your first program. And then over time, maybe you have more specific niche topics in your field, you can cover those through mini courses, smaller self-contained programs that give people quick wins and in a very short amount of time as well. Okay? So hopefully at this point, you've already started to outline your program. You have a great idea of who you're going to serve and what transformation you're going to get them. And in the following videos, we're going to start really putting that together and eventually selling it on Kajabi and going through that entire process. So if you want to join the journey, join Kajabi using my link down below in the description. It'll get you an extended 30 days compared to their regular 14-day free trial on their website. And of course, you'll get those 2 bonus mini courses, Kajabi in 30 days and content marketing for creatives, in addition to a complimentary 30-minute coaching call that I'm offering throughout the duration of this challenge. So if you would like to forward me, your first month's receipt or your annual receipt of your payment to Kajabi, then we can set up your coaching call anytime. You can redeem it at any point, but the offer to grab the coaching call is only valid during this duration of the challenge, which again is at the until the end of January 2026. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you in the next one, and I'll see you very soon. Take care.